I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo. Talking about my dumb purchases. It's been a good week. Up over 100. I'm going to go broke $30 purchases at a time. Like, just $30 here, $30 there. Yeah, this is the list, Carlo, buddy, of the dumb things that I've purchased. And when you have like a background and you're like, this is your screen, you're like, I could just put it in the background. I bought that Joe Boo doll.
The good luck
for a long time. It looks cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Bought $30 worth of puka shell necklaces to be ironic. I bought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, like the sports figure ones that are on
for
the
your
way.
Kids?
For myself, for the background, bud.
You're hilarious. Hey, you know my brother his company does bobbleheads now. If you want to create your own custom bobblehead,
ooh,
you can do it. Could you imagine a bobblehead of you with the mustache just going like this in the background?
Dang it. All right, you're going to have to send me that. I bought
a man bobblehead. There it is. Yes.
Like my purchase history right now is so I bought a book from Britain. I think it was like $12, written by Dick Pound, called Inside the Olympics, just because it's funny.
No, just because it has the word dick in it.
I know, yes, and the purchases are they're getting out of control. I bought the same shoe, 2 different colors.
Why?
Because they're the new Otanis and they're dope, but
couldn't
decide on the white or black. So I said, you know what?
They're baseball shoes. So
no, they're everyday shoes. I was wearing them yesterday in the snowstorm, and my wife's like, "What are you doing, you idiot? My new shoes. They're my new shoes."
That's
Richard
just a donkey move.
Interesting day on the ice, as always. Colorado does that thing where, Bucci was on your show doing the exact same thing. We were thinking about St. Louis the other night. Are they going to lose? No, they're not.
Yeah.
They finish it up. I wanted to get your take on the Chatfield McMichael situation. I wasn't watching the game, but I'm trying to figure out why there hasn't been a minute played over the last 7 minutes of that game. And then I look at the minutes in penalties and what happened.
It was melee after melee after melee.
So take me through that. We had Chatfield spinning, not a lot of fists being thrown with Connor McMichael, and he spins him around and he hits his back of his head. Kind of Bush League, no?
Yeah, very Bush League. And I think there was just a tweet that went out from Frank Saravalli. Let me just see if I can pull it up quickly.
Suspension?
I think he said there was going to be no supplemental discipline. Yeah, not expecting any supplemental discipline for Jalen Chatfield for his takedown on Connor McMichael during the fight last night. I'm surprised by this. Again, that's a dangerous move. Guys doesn't have his helmet on, and it's a suplex takedown to the ice. Thankfully we're not here this morning talking about a serious head injury that he potentially could have faced, and everyone's going to be okay. But just the potential of how bad that play could have been. I love the scuffle. I love the rivalry that's being created. Who would have thought Washington, Carolina would have a rivalry? But clearly there's a lot of bad blood going between those two teams because they didn't like each other at all yesterday.
No, and you'd hate to see something like that change the rules of the game. Like if something really bad happened to McMichael, or it's like tinkering with the game, I'd really hate that just from one dumb move from Chatfield, who I didn't get a chance to look at his fighting game logs, but I don't think there's probably a ton in there. So I don't know. Don't do it. Didn't like it. Logan Thompson was hurt. Ovi goal, 3 away. So here's the thing. Ovi 3 away. The probability is minus 480. I believe. Yeah, minus 480 to do it. 83% probable. now we're talking about the empty net. There was talk about Spencer Carberry talking about he hadn't talked to Ovi about it, but he said, I doubt that he'd want to do it without a goalie in the net. However, we are in hat trick territory. Friday, Chicago.
Yeah.
If he has 2, empty net is in play for the record.
Absolutely. I think empty net's in play no matter what. 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals. It's, it's a home game. I was actually looking at Washington's schedule. One sec. So they play at home Friday night against Chicago, in New York on the island on Sunday, and then back home Carolina on following Thursday, and then a home and home with Columbus. I just think with him, 2-3 goals, if you get that Friday night, you want to do it in front of your fans, right? That's what you want to do if you're for that sort of milestone moment. It's going to be extra special for everybody to be involved. And I think at this time of year, any goal, like the cameras every night have an ISO cam watching every bit of OV shift. So everybody's paying attention no matter what goal it is. Any goal that goes in, somebody's going to follow, and most people are going to celebrate.
Malcolm Gill saying, I wish the Leafs could have hit an empty net. Sounds like someone had the over 5.5 in a 3-2 Toronto win. Their 3-2 wins are becoming quite prevalent. Lots of people care. Empty net after all that would be weak AF from Stewie's. I know, it's a tough one. Not to get an empty net goal is like minus 600. I was looking at the odds, nothing there to get it, but try to think about it from a betting perspective in terms of if you're going to bet the hat trick on Friday, and I think a lot of people will, add the last goal. If you can put it in an SGP, add the last goal just to boost the odds.
Yeah, that's
right?
True. Yeah, because of the empty net, right?
So look there. There's probably more value in that being mispriced than just like his straight goal market. So empty net, if you think about it, if you want the empty net, just kind of put him to score last goal instead. Lots of better odds there. Producer Mick saying, pump those likes up, pumpers. Thanks very much. Canucks should be embarrassed with how they played last night, waking up in the middle of the night to a 5-0 loss to Seattle, who was out without some people. Pretty embarrassing. Take me to need your perspective on after everything that's happened with Elias Pettersson, and I hate piling on him. If that man is not in a walking boot with crutches, dealing with pain to absolutely leave your team at this point of the year, does that affect the camaraderie within a locker room?
I think a little bit, considering who they got rid of for him, right? I mean, look what JT Miller is doing, helping the Rangers with, right? So it's tough to, tough to digest that if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan. And this is, Insight says JT Miller is right. Everyone's upset about this whole situation. It's hard to understand what's going on in Elias Pettersson's head, and people wonder if this guy actually cares about hockey.
I think you're right. It's all that turmoil, all that talk to get rid of Miller. There's some vouching saying Pettersson's the guy who's got to be the one to stay. And then he's off. And it's not just he's practicing, he's trying to get back. It's no, EP40's out until the end of this road trip. And then we'll reevaluate him.
Yeah.
It's talking. Bye-bye talking. Talking should be saying, see you later. We'll go somewhere else. I had a cushy job. And now I went from babysitting kids. No, he got paid and checked out. It's tough. And it's I hate piling on him because I don't know the situation. And I hate that we as media people sometimes.
Well, what is it that he's out with?
I don't know. It's just he's gone. It's probably whatever it's listed as, a UBI or an LBI.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's find out here. But out, upper body, return not imminent. So unless it's a concussion or something like that, or a head injury, I get it. But hurt feelings. Insight says hurt feelings. AJ, Lane Hudson night. Absolutely. Let's get to something. We start with the late one because that's how we roll, and that's where I started with it. Edmonton at San Jose. San Jose's plus 225, but they're in free fall, 6.5. Their best goalie's not playing. He didn't even dress in Askarov on Wednesday. Edmonton's not rushing McDavid back because they're kind of locked into their spot. I mean, yes, they want to get home ice and you don't want to play in LA, but it's not worth risking McDavid for the run. Here's the plays. Colin Graff for a point, plus 175. Second line,
Ooh, Graffy.
I know. It's just, they're just giving minutes. That line's getting a lot of minutes. It's what we refer to as showcase time for young teams, where it's like, let's see what we have with these guys. Let's give them 15 to 18 minutes and see what we got for next year. And then we're going to go Arvidsson, Draisaitl for a point each, plus 145. I know Arvidsson's not on PP1, but this game could be played a lot at 5-on-5. And anytime we can get something with Draisaitl, who I think is the most valuable player to the team, I get it that Hellebuck's there, but that's a structured team. Edmonton kind of looks lost without their big dogs, and Draisaitl just takes over games. So I want that one. And Wallman for a point. Revenge game, former team, plus 120, playing big minutes. The Ekholm injuries giving him some stuff. Where are you right now with the Oilers heading into the playoffs? I know it's a question I've asked you, but has your opinion changed in terms of the goaltending, maybe some injuries to the defense, and how McDavid's dealing with that injury as well?
Well, no, I'm not concerned of the Oilers because once they get in, they're going to have the two best playoff performers playing for them, and that's McDavid and Draisaitl. Where I get concerned of the Oilers is who's going to lead them in net. Yes, Stuart Skinner led them to the Stanley Cup, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, but he's been inconsistent. They're playing Calvin Pickard right now. Can you imagine the Edmonton Oilers going on a Stanley Cup run with Calvin Pickard? And look, that was a massive win for the Oilers the other night in Vegas, right? And I think that's a huge character building win for that group that has had a lot of ups and downs this year. I'm not one of those guys that is gonna, harp very heavily on the Edmonton Oilers. They're hanging on right now just because of injuries to some of their best players, but I still wonder how much Edmonton really cares about playing these regular season games. To them, it's about winning and getting to the playoffs. And I think once they get there, Wallman's looked. When I saw that they traded a first-round pick for Jake Wallman, I'm like, I know he plays on San Jose. I don't watch that very often, but I never thought as Wallman as a guy that would fetch a first. But give them credit; they clearly knew what they saw in him because he's been an unbelievable addition for them on the back end, playing in every situation, playing big minutes. I don't believe Ekholm is back for them yet, is he?
No, he's still out. So that's the issue. That's where the minutes are coming from. He's got 4 points in his last 6 games too.
Right. So, I still believe in Edmonton. I mean, just because they got those two guys that can lead them themselves, but you got to give them credit for the way they've been hanging on as of late.
Navigating the waters.
Navigating the Sharky waters.
Oh, the Sharky waters. So money on the board then today for Wallman there versus his old team?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was thinking about the assist, but saw that he's actually shooting quite a bit. Like Wallman's had like a game of 4 shots on goal, 5 shots on goal, 5 shots on goal. And speaking of that, I didn't see the box score of who did I have? Oh, I had Sherwood. They scored 0 goals. So let's see where my shot on goal handicap from yesterday went. 24. Vancouver is like the lowest shooting team ever, even in negative game script. Where's my guy? Sherwood. I bet it's. Oh, he finished with 3 shots. Okay, we could have released that one. Plus 195. That hit.
How about them getting shut out at home? That's
done. Season's done. Like, is that a point where it's like maybe it's a great spot to hit him on the next game, to fade him next game because that's it for them basically?
Yeah, I mean, 7 games left, 8 points out. They're done.
But yeah,
they're done. And look, I mean, the fact that they're actually here at this point, considering all of the injuries that they've had to navigate through, like it's a pretty impressive job that Tocchet has done with that group, with all the turmoil, all the the petty stuff that they're dealing with people's love or hate for each other. I don't know. It's nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they're starting goalies. Like Demko didn't start the year. And I even think like Artur Salovs or whatever his name is, I think
Arthur Seelock, yeah.
he wasn't even available early. So they were riding Lankinen, who won every game on the road out of the gate, right?
Okay, so let's elaborate on that a little bit. Where would this team be without Lankinen?
100%.
Like Lankinen is a big reason why there's still a miracle that they have
100%.
left.
Yeah.
If Lankinen wasn't there, this would be a lottery team.
Agreed.
Right?
Tim Hortons most improved player of the year, right there.
Kevin Lankinen.
Yeah.
Got himself a nice deal too.
Yeah. Nothing screams 11-year-old confidence than getting that most improved player award on the ice in House League. You're like, wow, I suck, but I suck less now. Thanks, guys.
SO.
Oh, sorry, it was the S. You've earned your stripes. Yeah.
SO most improved player.
Yeah, the old MIP.
Yeah.
They don't give it to actual professionals. Nashville, yeah. Dallas. Seeing some big favorites out here today. -300, over/under sitting at 6. And we just have to go back to this line. The Duchesne Granlund Marchment line.
I love this combo.
Okay, so listen, because I've been writing them down and tracking them for like the last month. This is what we get. 13.25 units over the last 3 games. They're 3-0. Yeah.
Wow.
They're 4-1 on this prop in the last 5 games for 17 units. And over their last 8 games, betting on these 3 to get a point in the same game has netted bettors 19 units.
Wow. Stay hot.
Stay hot.
Good matchup.
Same price as it was versus Anaheim at home. So I respect the pricing. This line is also played the most minutes versus Seattle on Tuesday at 5-on-5, which is surprising because we're starting to see kind of the separation where they were running 4 lines. Now they're starting to run 2 lines. That Ben, Johnson, and Bork line, 6 minutes, 30 seconds, 5-on-5, compared to over 12 minutes for this team on Tuesday. So they're getting the time. Where do you rank Dallas right now going into the playoffs? Dallas ahead of Edmonton? I'll just give you the.
No, they're out of Colorado.
No, I'll just give you the hypothetical Western Conference matchup for Dallas. Who are you taking? Dallas or Edmonton?
Sorry. Hypothetical matchup?
Just hypothetical Western matchups.
So what
Dallas
do you mean,
home ice versus Edmonton.
Oh, Dallas.
Okay. Dallas home ice versus Vegas.
Dallas. You can't ask me this because Dallas was my preseason pick to win the Stanley Cup.
You're Dallas all the way. Dallas, Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg.
And they're getting a Heiskanen back.
Oh God, Harley's such a stud.
Yeah,
right?
He's
like
turned into a stud.
Like what the confidence was to be like he's in Cabo and they call him. They say, "Hey, we need a defenseman here for the Four Nations."
Hey,
he's like,
can
"I'm there."
Play like top level hockey after not skating for a week. He's like, "Are you guys nuts?" Actually, hold on. Am I nuts? Yes. Yeah. I'm coming.
Yeah. No. And for a team last year in the playoffs, remember, they were playing like they dressed Nils Lundqvist, but they only played him like 5 minutes. They were playing 5 defensemen.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And so here's a crazy turn of events that we're not really paying attention to. Okay. Everyone's crowning the Winnipeg Jets or the Washington Capitals as President's Trophy winners. The Dallas Stars have won 6 games in a row. They're 4 points back of Winnipeg with a game in hand on Winnipeg. They're 3 points back of Washington with a game in hand on Washington as well, too. Dallas could sneakily get up into that spot, win the division, and completely avoid Colorado all together with their matchup.
Someone in the chat there, I'm trying to find it. See what Dallas is paying right now for the Presidents.
Where?
I don't like just find the odds for me for what the President's Trophy is right now, because as a bettor, I wasn't even paying attention to that because I didn't think it was that close at all.
Yeah, I didn't think so either until I just looked at it.
They'll get it. The pumpers always help us out.
Come on. Pumpers, help us out. What's the President's Trophy odds for the Dallas Stars?
All right, we'll go on and we'll highlight it when it gets.
Let me just look at Dallas' schedule while you talk. Go ahead.
Pittsburgh, St. Louis, 575.
It's great value, man.
375.
Okay, so they play Nashville tonight, Pittsburgh Saturday, Minnesota Sunday, Vancouver. They play Winnipeg. So that's going to be the matchup if they stay hot to determine the division. Then they finish, oh my God, they finish at at home to Utah, at Detroit, at Nashville. That's that's one of the easiest schedules. Only one team. Sorry, Minnesota. If you could, I mean, the other team.
Yeah, Minnesota's Minnesota. But that Winnipeg game.
There's only one team that they have left. That's a playoff team, or like a top team.
All right, I might throw that out.
I sold you on Hudson a couple weeks ago, and look how good that's panning out for you.
I know. We're getting to that. Pittsburgh, St. Louis first. So St. Louis minus 230, over under sitting at 5.5. Cam Fowler assist, plus 155, and the Kyrou Holloway Shen line for a point each at plus 350. 10 in a row for the Blues. 71 outright, now 50-1 outright at Sports Interaction. I still think that's a great price. I got Jordan Binnington for a Conn Smythe at 320-1, which is nuts.
Nice.
Like, but I need to add it. Like, I need Thomas, I need Kyrou, maybe even someone like Cam Fowler for some Conn Smythe, because I'm kind of going all in on them. Some interesting moves. The Rob Thomas PP unit is getting first cracks. So that's where I like the Fowler one too. Fowler's playing 25 minutes a game right now. And
so am I overthinking this? Because usually when teams are on long winning streaks and they get one of those like squeak out wins, which is what St. Louis did last game, don't you kind of feel like it's about to come to an end, this winning streak?
Sure. Not betting on them to win. Just betting on them to score points.
Oh, okay, sure. It's fine.
I'm not running out to bet St. Louis at minus 230, but Pittsburgh, I think maybe the worst goals against average since the restart. Crosby. I mean, people were talking about the idea of like how hard it was to come back from the Four Nations tournament.
Mm.
Crosby has 23 points in 18 games and is pointed in 16 of those 18 games. And maybe logged the most minutes out of any forward in the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely stud. Neighbors and Bolduc flipped lines last game, so it's important to see what happens with this St. Louis skate, because both of them are power play one with Buchnevich. So waiting to see if it's Neighbors or Bolduc. Both of them are in that plus 300 plus range for a point each. And a weird stack in Pittsburgh, Ricard Raquel and Ville Koivunen for a point each at plus 280 if you're so enticed to do it. It's a good price. It's a bad matchup. Anything outside of that, Carlo thinks maybe this streak has to end soon, but I'm St. Louis all the way right now. And you bleed St. Louis blue, bud. I know that.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not betting against the Blues. I'm just usually that's how these streaks end, where you get a couple of those games where you still squeak out wins even though you should, and then boom, it ends. But St. Louis is playing at another level right now. I still wouldn't, bet against them yet.
Yeah, no, I don't like Pittsburgh on the road in this spot either. Let's get to the last game. We got basketball releases coming up here at 10:30. Boston, Montreal minus 200, over under sitting at 5.5. Suzuki for a point, Caulfield for a point, getting creative via Andy Francis and adding a Hudson assist here for plus 200. Didn't like the Slavkovsky point to make it like plus 170. So we're adding the Hudson assist.
How do you not? The guy's got 6 assists in the last 2 games.
Have you seen the Calder odds?
Yeah, like the offense in Montreal is being driven by the play of Hudson. So got to be all over this guy.
Minus 2,000 to win the award. And Boston just like wrote the textbook on how to tank. 3 and 15. 3 and 15.
Sell at the deadline and full tank. See you later.
3 and 15 since deadline, losing by average by 1.5 goals per game. It's an absolutely dream could see some goals in this game. There's not much I like, but maybe a new hook, line 8 Hudson point combo, 475. I think maybe this is a game where you could go look at that second line at home. Playoffs before we duck out here. To make playoff odds, Montreal plus 120, Rangers plus 180, Blue Jackets plus 320, and Detroit 4 points back, 8 games remaining, 16-1.
Yeah.
Are you on the Habs? Are you on the Rangers? Or maybe a little Blue Jackets in you?
I mean, I don't want to be on any of them. I would love for Montreal to be in it because I cover the games and they're more fun to do and they're, games mean a lot. It almost feels like the Rangers are the team that should be in there because of how people viewed them to start the season. But how do you not cheer for the Columbus Blue Jackets either? They're finally all healthy. They're scoring a ton again at home. They got a lot of good going for them. I think either one of those is good value depending on who you choose.
So Columbus has one game in hand versus Montreal. If they win, let's say they play their 74th game, they win. They have 79 points in 74. Montreal has 79 and 74, and the Rangers have 79 and 75. It's got to be Montreal for me. I think you got to cheer for the Habs. I know the story's awesome for Columbus, but I mean the story's also equally amazing for the Habs. Like what Hudson has done.
Yeah.
Right? Like
absolutely.
And you want to see that fan base, man. You talked about on the show how terrible the Leafs fan base is in the arena and like on the broadcast.
Bell Center playoff vibes. They need it.
That Canada game, I've never heard a hockey game sound like that in person.
Yeah.
Doing the Olay chant.
And the hot dogs.
Oh, steamies. But before we got going here, we ate so many of those hot dogs that me and producer Mick, our phones were dying. We gave our phones to the ladies at the LaFleur hot dog place.
You were charging them. Nice. All right, we got to run.
We do. Hey, appreciate everybody there in the chat. I'll let you in on any more dumb purchases I make today. Got 5 puka necklaces, so I'm good for a while there. But we'll see. NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Josh Ingles, Carlo Colaiacovo. Big day Thursday. Let's have one. Lead us out, bud.
Ciao.